wanna be with you. You're young and beautiful. I trust in two directions. I had no hope. We never follow instinct. We just don't understand a different situation. We've lost command. My heart's in rhythm. Your heart's in rhythm. You always share affection with everybody else. I think that you should learn to love yourself. The man that you love most, the man that brought you here, he's always in your memory. He's always near. My heart's in rhythm. Your heart's in rhythm. Your heart's in rhythm. My heart's in rhythm. Your heart's in rhythm.
Welcome to the Willie Bragg Show. There we go. Welcome to the Willie Bragg Show. I'm your host, Willie Bragg. I hope everybody's doing well. I see over here on the chat line, we have Lurley. How are you doing? I saw you on Revolutionary Change a few minutes ago. Friendly competitors. Also, I see here Extra Bulla. Hey, Warren. How are you today? And I see also Max RJ in the house. He says everything's going up and no more money. What the hell? Yeah, that's how it is today. So I hope everybody's doing well. I was going to go online a little earlier, but you know, uh, I had to get my beauty sleep. Going to work in a little while, and sometimes I have to kind of put it on delay, because I have to eat dinner and shave and shower and all of that sort of thing before I make myself presentable. So that's that's what happened there. Hmm. So anyway, we got stuff to talk about today, and I want to talk about what the hell, what the hell when it comes to Democrats, because the Democrats, why you can't rely on the Democrats. They tried to tell progressives, you got to trust us, you got to trust us. Then they do next to nothing for you, and then they overreach in insulting ways to the left wing base and slap you around. And I'll give you an example. They work against Zohran Mamdani. Now, I'm not an apologist for Zohran Mamdani. I am skeptical, agnostic. I think he means well, but I see some shit livery at bay. What's the police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, I think that's her name. That he kept her appointment in that position, which in itself is questionable at the moment. So, because she has a hard on for cracking down on protesters, and you have a Democratic Party that basically you had a Trump and Elon Musk that endorsed Andrew Cuomo, and a lot of normie Democrats, including Hakeem. Well, I don't know if Hakeem Jeffries endorsed Zohran Mamdani. I think if he did, he probably did it like kicking and screaming or something like that. I think that's how that went. But basically, when it comes right down to it, the Democrats punch left as they're accused of being hijacked by the ultra left. I know I sound like a broken record saying this, but it's the damn truth. It really is the damn truth. I mean, I've seen it time and time and time again, how they have rehabilitated John Bolton, Dick and Liz Cheney, and all these George W. Bush. They have all been rehabilitated little by little. And now we're approaching Marjorie Taylor Greene territory. They have rehabilitated Marjorie Taylor Greene. You have Jamie Raskin, the congressman from Maryland, who, and now he's a normie Democrat. I get it. But I used to enjoy listening to him talk shit to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Doesn't mean I like rah Jamie Raskin, but it was great seeing him and her going back and forth. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Now he's saying, come on over to the Democratic Party. And you're going to go and have a Democratic Party's big tent that's big enough for Marjorie Taylor Greene, while you're still going, that fucking Bernie Sanders and AOC is just, no matter what we all think of Bernie Sanders and AOC at this point. But I try to understand what I'm saying. This is what a lot of normie Democrats still think. They blame the Bernie Sanders people for ultimately giving the presidency to Donald Trump in 2016. So they do that, but at the same time, because there's a rift between Donald Trump and a rift between Marjorie Taylor Greene at this point, they're like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, come on over to us. A woman who's, socially conservative, through social conservatism, is way more toxic, even now, compared to Trump. We know that Trump is a grifter. We know that Trump don't give a shit about LGBTQ plus people, one way or the other. Not a love for them, not a hatred for them. Probably an indifference, like I don't care. I think that's basically what his views are. Marjorie Taylor Greene's ideological. I mean, hers is an ideological opposition to them. It's a hatred. It's a hatred for people of color. It's a hatred of the other. I want people sitting there wanted to call Zohran Mamdani a jihadist on one hand, and saying, "Oh, he's anti-Semitic." On the other hand, when Zohran Mamdani, he's just anti-Zionist, at least rhetorically, and it's not even based on an Islamic theology. It's more based on a westernized, progressive viewpoint of hey, slaughtering people in Gaza kind of sucks. You could just tell that's how he's looking at the situation. Versus Marjorie Taylor Greene, who thinks that Jewish lasers from outer space, from satellites, are causing wildfires in Florida. And the difference between her criticism of Israel and Zohran Mamdani's criticism of Israel is that, Zohran Mamdani's criticism of Israel, as I said, is based on, hey, we think genocide sucks. Marjorie Taylor Greene's criticism is Jews. So that's basically what I'm saying. Now, genocide sucks, no matter what group is doing it. I'm just saying that if you're doing it because you hate Jews, fuck off. But if you're criticizing the country because you don't like genocide, period, no matter who's doing the genociding, hey, that's where I stand right there. And fuck Israel for what they're doing to the Palestinians in Gaza. So that's basically what it comes down to. And there's nothing anti-Semitic in saying that, because we can talk about all the other evils that existed from other societies around the world. Whether we're talking about King Leopold, Belgium, who caused genocide in the Congo, or Pol Pot who caused the killing fields to happen. Talk about Hitler and the Holocaust, or what have you. We talk about all kinds of genocides that existed all around the world history, and Netanyahu is right there with them all. So, I put him in that category right there without any apologies whatsoever. So, but that's the point I'm trying to make, because they have a, let's go get Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump, I want to see him 25th Amendment used against him. I think that he's incompetent and he's nuts and he's crazy and he needs to be impeached and democratically removed from office. And the 25th Amendment has provisions that will allow that to happen. That should have been done in 2021 after January 6th. They didn't need to go shut down his Twitter account. They just needed to go and say, hey, you cannot run for an office in this country again. And I think the 25th Amendment applies to any elected office in the country. Don't quote me, but I think it applies to any elected office in the country. This is what they did to Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil pretty recently. I think it was like 27 years he cannot run for office or something like that. And I think he's to do prison time, which, justice finally taking place in Brazil. But, we don't know the meaning of justice in the United States because, we are the United States and all of that. So having that said, I am going to go and share this video here because I think it's worth noting and what all the hubbub is all about. So, no, not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. Okay. As I said, when you're your own producer, things happen. Okay, it is that one. Okay, all right. So this is Marjorie Taylor Greene recently, and I will comment very shortly thereafter.
I was called a traitor. by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me. I was called.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you what all that's about. That's about her feelings getting hurt. And I'll go into that in a minute. Because for the longest time, all she did was ride on his cock, figuratively speaking. That's all she ever did. And now she had her feelings hurt and all of that. Now, I hear it through the grapevine that there's been threats made by supporters of 47. I will put it that way. I'm not saying that 47. I'm not saying that /45/47 had made the threats himself, but demented supporters are demented supporters. Now, nobody despises Marjorie Taylor Greene more than I do. And I do. I don't care what words I don't care how reasonable her words appeared just now. I don't care how reasonable she appeared. She's still the same person she was. You got to remember, even prior to when she was running for Congress, she was a birther. She was a 9/11 truther. Well, I don't begrudge 9/11 truther. I'm not particularly a 9/11 truther myself. I don't begrudge 9/11 truther. So that won't be fair because I know good people who are 9/11 truthers. But she was a birther. She thought, no matter what we think of Obama, anybody who thinks that Obama was born in Kenya and trying to destroy Western civilization is a fucking racist piece of shit. If you're going to criticize Obama on anything other than policy, even if you're criticizing Obama from the right on policy, and that's all you're criticizing him on, you don't like Obamacare, you don't like his tax ideas, you don't even like his position on abortion or LGBTQ rights, that would not necessarily make you a white nationalist, right-wing Nazi piece of shit. I'm sorry for the background noise. I had my dryer tumbling. So, but you can disagree with him on policy. I, as a leftist, kicking and screaming all the way during his presidency, opposing him. So, okay, fair enough. You can criticize Obama on policy on whichever side and not be a fucking racist. But if you're going to conspiracy theories about how he's trying to destroy Western civilization, and he's secretly from Kenya, he's some Manchurian candidate, of that sort, then you're fucking racist, and she fits under that category. And she basically urging the state sanction unaliving of Obama and Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi over the years, over the Iran treaty that Obama had, for the signing. His chief, probably one of the best things he did was the peace treaty with Iran, which Trump ripped to shreds during his first presidency, to appease the John Boltons and the John Hagees of the Republican Party. And that's probably a good enough reason to despise him right there for that, because that treaty was working. That treaty would have been left alone. Whatever challenges that the West has with Iran today would not be existing. And Iran would probably be acclimated into a more positive relations with the West in a situation which will have a relationship that is mutually beneficial to the people of Iran as well as the people of the West. But Donald Trump decided to go and appease the evangelicals and the neocons in his party. And henceforth, the challenges between the United States and Iran that exist today, that's being upset even more by people like Benjamin Netanyahu, which was part of the reason why Obama and Netanyahu had little problems themselves during the time he was president. So, but there's also another caveat to Marjorie Taylor Greene being butthurt. Now, again, the supporters of 45 and 47 who are uttering threats against her don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene at all. But it's not cool if you're threatening somebody. I would say that. Even people I despise. And that's the difference between people like us on the left and people on the right. Because people on the left, we may despise these people on the right, but we think that they ought to have a living wage job. We think they ought to have universal health care. We think that they ought to have retirement with dignity. We think that their shitty little brats, kids, offsprings ought to have free college. And we think that they should live in peace and not have to be subjected to these fucking neocon wars. That's the difference between, and even when some of them do shitty things to others, I mean, commit violent acts or what have you, unspeakable acts, what have you, as a civil libertarian, as somebody who's opposed to capital punishment, these people, I will argue, should not even be executed, and that's the difference between people like me and people like that on the right, because those people on the right, they look at someone like us and they're like, oh, they support universal health care. Unalive them. That's really how they feel. That they just think that we ought to not exist because, hey, we support universal health care, or hey, we think that trans people are human beings and they should be allowed to exist, or whatever other issue you can imagine. That we actually think that whatever progressive issue you can imagine, vaguely left of center issue, that makes us better than them. So let's go and talk AOC for a quick moment, shall we? So let's do that. So, okay. I know, but here's the thing about AOC. AOC, I have my issues, as we all do, with AOC, but AOC is correct what she says about Marjorie Taylor Greene. So I'll let you listen to what she has to say. And this is not saying, hey, this is 2018 AOC and we are sitting there cheering you on. This is not what we're saying. But what we are saying is AOC, in my view, AOC is correct in her assessment about Marjorie Taylor Greene. So here we go.
Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run for Senate in Georgia. She wanted to run for Senate earlier this year in the state of Georgia. She wanted to be the Republican nominee for Senate. So she was gearing up for that statewide race, and Trump told her no. Trump said no. And the White House and Trump land shut down Marjorie Taylor Greene's personal ambitions to run for Senate. And she has been on a revenge tour ever since. And so all of this stuff that you're like, oh my God, like, it is all personally motivated. All of this stuff is personally motivated. There is no signs of revelation that I see up close. This is not a person that is backing up anything of what they're saying with any sort of action, which gives the whole game away. This is a person that is trying to twist the knife on people who frustrated her personal ambition. And until that is the story, and until any one of these little public statements or media statements is actually backed up by a genuine change in policy position, I'm just not going to, and not just a change in policy position, but a commitment to that change. I'm just not going to buy it. I welcome it. I think it's never too late to change. But here's some tea for you. MTG, people are like, oh my.
That's why she's doing this, because, she's coming out with the very sympathetic on the Epstein files and all this sort of thing. It's because, like AOC says, she had her feelings hurt. She wanted to run for U.S. Senate in the state of Georgia, and Trump said no. Now, and if I was Trump, I would come to the same conclusion, because everybody knows that Marjorie Taylor Greene's batshit crazy. The only thing she's like AOC. The only thing AOC could do is win in her own fucking district in New York. Now, policy wise, AOC. Now, it'd be nice if AOC actually fight for what she claims she believes in. But AOC, side by side with Marjorie Taylor Greene on the policy issues, is 1 million times superior to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I say that even today. Doesn't mean that I am cheering for AOC. Doesn't mean I'm back in my 2018, 2019, 2020 mode when I was like, yay, AOC. I'm not going back to that. But what I'm saying is AOC, who says that she's for the unions and she's for universal health care, single payer health care, and she's opposed to the wars, and she's for free college and all this sort of thing, all this sort of, cool things that we're all pretty much on page for. The thing is that Marjorie Taylor Greene changing her tune on some of these issues is done out of opportunism. She's pissed. And that's what it comes down to. So that's where I stand. And so my message is do not trust Marjorie Taylor Greene. I do think, in my opinion, that AOC is giving some sound advice there. Now, I also think she's doing it because she has a vendetta against Marjorie Taylor Greene. I also think she's personally motivated by it. She despises Marjorie Taylor Greene for more than her politics. But at the same time, she's not wrong on these things, and I'm just saying that there. Now, am I going to say that Marjorie Taylor Greene's wrong on everything that she's ever uttered out of her mouth? No, I mean, there are some things. She's a paleocon at heart, and paleocons will sometime bolt the party line on certain things. I mean, I do think that she might have a better foreign policy overall than someone like a Lindsey Graham. I mean, as I said, I despise Lindsey Graham and I despise Marjorie Taylor Greene. But do I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is she better than Lindsey Graham? If you wanted to say foreign policy, I wish I would. If you say Matt Gaetz, I could live with myself a little bit easier saying that. Not that I want to say Matt Gaetz isn't a good guy or anything like that, but Matt Gaetz is a little bit easier to defend than Marjorie Taylor Greene. But you know what I'm saying. Not that I want to go and choose a side, but I'm just saying that a paleocon is going to be a little bit better than your standard neocon on foreign policy. I mean, on the Russian-Ukraine war, I mean, she actually ended up sounding better than AOC, and lately, like Lurley said, lately she's sounding a little bit better on Israel. But you got to take that with a grain of salt. Got to take it with anything with a grain of salt. So, but when we talk about a Democratic Party that's sitting around sucking on Marjorie Taylor Greene's cock, at the same time feeling very uneasy about Zohran Mamdani, who I am on the fence about, meaning that I am cautiously glad that he won. If I lived in New York City on election day, would I have voted for Zohran Mamdani if the Green Party wasn't available or what have you? Considering the choices between Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa, sure, he was the best of the three candidates. And one reason I would say that is I like his views on social housing. I saw from the Gravel Institute that he had a video years ago. I saw from the Gravel Institute. I should have actually shared that with y'all. I actually played his video before years ago on the Willie Bragg Show on the social housing, where the Social Democratic Party of Austria, when they took over the municipality of Vienna in 1919, engaged in housing reform and created what was called social housing, which is the envy of the world that still stands today. And he wants to do something, or claims that he wants to do something similar to what the Social Democrats did in Austria in the year 1919. So I got some good things to say about him on policy. People make fun of his government-run grocery stores. They're not government-run grocery stores. He wants to go have a grocery store in areas which are food deserts, so people can have access to groceries and things of that nature, And he promises to have Benjamin Netanyahu arrested. And that would have been my biggest reason. If I lived in New York, that would have been my motivating factor to voting for Zohran Mamdani. I would have voted for him just on arresting Benjamin Netanyahu. Just on arresting Benjamin Netanyahu alone, I would have voted for him on that. I mean, whether he actually ends up doing that or not, which I have my doubts, but if he does that, if he actually Benjamin Netanyahu sent his worthless ass down into New York to the UN and the handcuffs are on that motherfucker, I would be so happy. But anyhow, as I said, Zohran Mamdani, I'm on the fence about. We'll see what happens. I'm not quite as harsh on him as Nico House, and I'm not quite as glowing over Zohran Mamdani as Kyle Kulinski. And I'm not criticizing Nico House nor Kyle Kulinski on this. I'm just saying I'm sort of in the middle when it comes to the position between the two when it comes to Zohran Mamdani. So I've heard both. Not that they debated each other, but I've heard both give their positions on Zohran Mamdani. So let's see. So, and basically what it comes down to, folks, is the whole punching left thing. So I always like to, if I reference Bernie Sanders and his better days, I always try to make a point of showing a younger Bernie Sanders to illustrate that I'm not talking about the Bernie Sanders that have sold out. I'm talking about the Bernie Sanders that was what I felt like was a more sincere Bernie Sanders. And this is what they want to see not happen around the country. I'm talking about the Democratic Party. They want to make sure that the movement that Bernie Sanders started, which I do think he started in a sincere way, but somehow things got fucked up along the ways, and Bernie Sanders don't know exactly what to do at this point. Kind of sad in a way. I wish that he would just go and say the hell with it and just say let's just do the whole breakaway and everything, and consequences be damned. But I don't totally 100% write him off, because he actually did inspire a new generation of radicals, more radical than he is. I never thought I would be more radical than Bernie Sanders. I thought I was kind of where he was at, maybe even not quite as far left as him, but as it turned out, I'm a tanky compared to him at this point. So, but the point is that they want to go and punch left, and they want the Democratic Party want that Bernie movement gone. And that's what it comes down to. They want to return back to the days of the Clintons. That's really what it comes down to. They want to return back to the days of the Clintons. That's what motivates them. So I'm going to talk to everyone here on the chat line, and then I'm gonna have to leave to go to work. I'm running a little bit late right now, so. All right, so I'm gonna start where I left off here. Righty, where we were. Okay, we were see. Okay, everyone, everywhere can be measured according to the litmus test. Hey, Bella LaGreasy, how are you doing today? Okay, we had Chuck, Intergalactic UFO Show. Hey, Willie, how's your blue jerkwater planet doing today? Did it get de-naughtinized yet? Oh, this planet's just struggling along, it's still run by crazy people. They just need a crazy person like me running, and I'll make it less insane, but, So let's see what we have here. We are scrolling through. Do we have any new folks here? Lurley says, AOC should be writing for 17 magazine. Yeah. And as reluctant as I am to agree for the moment, considering what's going on right now on the temporarily, yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene is sounding a little bit better than AOC on Israel. Who would have thought, right? Let's see here. I hear Facebook and Twitter are just bad, it's just as bad, and I think that's in reference to YouTube censorship. Yeah, everything is bad when it comes to censorship. See, Willie. Why aren't you selling mail order guillotines? Save 10% with the code Willie Bragg. Because I oppose capital punishment. Let's see. All right, I'm looking through here. I want to make sure everybody's taken care of. Okay, looks like everybody's taken care of. So, all right. So listen, I got to go. So I want to say thank you for showing up here today on the Willie Bragg Show. I should be back on Monday, and I apologize again. Once again, I have to apologize for my absence in the last couple of weeks. I've been sort of slack lately. So I'll just say this: if you like what you heard, please press like and comment, and whether positive, negative, indifferent, we'll have a conversation. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we are the muckrakers of our time. Subscribe to the Willie Bragg Show here on YouTube and all on my other platforms. And remember, folks, to reject corporate media. Always reject corporate media, because they have nothing to offer, not a damn thing. And let's work together to free and pardon Ed Snowden, free Palestine, free healthcare for all, fight like hell to keep that First Amendment free. And until next time, in spite of everything, still at the end of the day, fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. Y'all take care. See y'all later. Bye-bye. 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 And let me find the outro theme right here. Take care. Bye-bye.